What's up, YouTube? Today I will be giving you a brief deck profile of a fun deck. I saw in the comments people were wanting a remake of this for the new ban list because I kind of posted it close to the ban list. So I decided to remake it, fitting it to the March 2012 ban list. Also with the whole new priority thing, I tried to fix things up to make it, well, as fitting to that as possible. So anyway, let's get right into the deck profile. Token. And for monsters, we've got one Crusader of Endymion, because I guess we're trying to keep this budget, kind of, just because it's a fun deck. Didn't have a ton to invest in it. And I had one of these left over. And he's also good for accumulating spell counters, 1900 beat stick. So he's pretty easy to keep on the field. After that, we've got two Magical Exemplar. Every time you use a spell, 2 counters, special summon spellcasters from the hand or graveyard, I think? Yeah, hand or graveyard. Mostly you're going to be using it for graveyard. 2 is more consistent in my opinion. 3 is kind of cloggy, and you're not always going to have spells. I mean, you do run a lot of spells, but not always. So 2 in my opinion. Next we've got 2 Magical Valkyria, just for protecting your spellcasters once they get on the field. Target for Magician's Circle, etc., etc. We've got 1 Knights and Sorcerer. Sorry. He's a level 2 tuner, so you can search him out with a Apprentice Magician. And then he's also good for the synchro plays with all your level 4 spellcasters to go into your level 6s. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, I think. I don't know if before I had been running a Chaos build, but this one I didn't have the resources to make it. But you're still running 3 Apprentice Magician because this is Spellcaster Synchro, so we do Synchro a lot. These guys you can pick up in the graveyard with your Junk Synchron, then go into a quick level 5 or anything else really, and then they're also bait for Dark Arm Dragon. You fill up your graveyard. Next we've got the 1 Injection Fairy Lily, and to be honest, this card wins games all on its own. You attack with your 1 monster, you use Magician's Circle, special summon this, they maybe go for an Effect Veiler since that card's really popular. You use Injection Fairy Lily, attack into the Effect Veiler, you pay the 2,000, she gains 3,000 attack, you do 3,400 damage right there. So yeah, Injection Fairy Lily, really solid card, level 3, so I mean you can tune it really easily, it goes into most of your, you can tune it with Junk Synchron for your level 6 spellcasters, etc., etc. Next we have the 1 Cybernetic Magician. He's really more of a tech. I mean, sorry about that. Really unstable camera. I kind of have it just like perched up here, and clearly that was not a good idea. Back to the deck though. You gotta stay focused. You mostly bring him out with Magical Dimension, which is probably the most solid card for this deck. 2,400 attack, so he's fairly decent. And then his effect was discard 1 card, make 1 card on the field, 2,000 attack. So you can get over pretty much anything, 5-hit dragon, etc., etc. Next, we've got 1 Dark Arm, because we do run a fair number of darks in here. I mean, we've only seen 3 so far, but I will introduce you to more. So yeah, Dark Arm Dragon, obvious, I think. Gores, another dark. I think this guy's also obvious. You just have to be smart with your back row. Yeah, 2,700 beat stick. 1 Dandelion just for token generation. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Token generation. Debris Dragon can pick up Dandy, go into Black Rose. There's plenty of targets in here too. So yeah, the 1 Debris Dragon. Doubles Junk Synchron. Just because there's so many level 2 targets, makes him really easy to use. And he's also dark. He's a key synchro component in my opinion. Then we've got Sangan, because pretty much everything in this deck is searchable by Sangan. Junk Synchron, just Junk Synchron, Knights and Sorcerer, Injection Fairy Lily, Apprentice Magician, Dandelion, Debris Dragon. So you got lots of targets. And for the last 2 monsters, we do run 2 Effect Veiler just to make this deck semi-usable at like a competitive level, even though it is still a fun deck. So yeah, the 2 Effect Veiler, also Spellcaster, so you can like tune with your tokens for Formula Synchron. Now we will move on to the spells, where we've got Most of these spells are really easy to use, or they're quick plays just for quick generation of counters on Magical Exemplar, because you use her to special summon a ton. So yeah, double duality, double lance, just for protection, because now bottomless trap pool is going to be used more. You're going to want a lance to protect your Exemplar, Crusader, Vendiman, etc., etc. We've got 2 magical dimension. Obviously, strong card for this deck. Tribute a spellcaster, pop a card, then special summon your own spellcaster from your hand. Then we've got 1 scapegoat, more tokens. Also, you're going to need protection because this deck doesn't always draw the best. So you're going to want to maybe save yourself with a scapegoat. And then if someone stupidly attacks into it, you just give yourself more spots for synchro summoning. Next we've got 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, protection, and then generating counters. Shrink, because our monsters aren't the biggest. Our biggest guy is 2400, so Shrink really helps get over big monsters. We've got 1 Dark Hole, obvious. Heavy Storm, another staple. Monster Reborn, staple. Book of Moon, still used, staple. And then Allure of Darkness, because we do run like 6 or 7 darks, and we make Dark Arm live, so I think that's 8. Finally, we'll do traps. We've got the Mirror Force. I don't know, I just like running Mirror Force with this format. 2 Magician Circle, just because this is a key card to bring out your big spellcasters. Well, 2,000 or less, but then you go Injection Fairly and they become huge. And finally, I've got Double Call of the Haunted. I run this mostly just for like, if they MST it, you go Sangan, you get another search, bring back your big guys, bring back your synchros, etc. Now, I do have an extra deck made, but I don't have a side deck, so I guess forgive me there, but we'll go into the side deck. We got a Formula Synchron, just because we can go into it. We should have an Armory Arm, but I don't have one. I think I sold mine off, so we got Magical Android and Catastrophe for level 5. You can go into level 5 more. I don't have any level 5s that I would prefer to go into. Level 6s, we've got a Brio, we've got Explosive Magician, which is more just like a 2500 spellcaster beat. Tempest Magician, actually a really good card. I actually prefer to go into this. 2200, then when it's summoned you put a spell counter on it. Excuse me. And for every spell counter you can discard cards to gain more, 1 per discard. And then 500 burn damage for each counter on this card. You can remove them all. Level 7 we've got Black Rose, Pretty German, Stardust Dragon, I feel like that's obvious, Junk Destroyer, again with Junk Synchron he's pretty easy, and then Shooting Star Dragon just because you run the Formula Synchron and the Stardust, so it's possible, I don't know how likely it is. Next we've got Utopia and Utopia Ray, just because you've got level 4s to go into them, then you've got spots in the extra deck. 1 Maestroke Symphony to Jin, it won YCS Chicago supposedly, so obviously it's not a bad card. For those who don't know, Gotcha Gotcha Effect and Book of Moon, check out my video if you want to see more about it. I will post that in the annotation, I guess. Number 17, Leviathan Dragon, you don't go into it, I don't know what's in here, it's just like an empty spot. You should have an Arcanite Magician in here, I just don't have one. And finally a Chimera Tech, because let's say you side Cyber Dragon. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile, guys. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe below, and I'll keep making more good videos. Good Yugies, guys.